Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Please welcome to the field, the Real Monarchs SLC and your Reno 1868 Football Club. Accompanying both teams' starting players to the pitch, are youth from Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America. Built on a proven sound performance lockout youth program, let our children give a go to the backup.
It's a highly anticipated Western Conference showdown. Reno 1868 and the Real Monarchs SLC will go head-to-head, the top two teams in the West tonight in United Soccer League action. Welcome inside Greater Nevada Field in downtown Reno for this one tonight as we wind down the regular season with a big matchup between these two clubs. We'll pause for tonight's national anthem, come back with our key players and starting lineups ahead of this match tonight. Back inside Greater Nevada Field alongside Colin Tabor. I'm Alex Margulies getting set for this showdown tonight between Reno and Real Monarchs here this evening. The first time these two teams have met in Reno this year. In their previous two matches, that took place in Salt Lake, with Reno losing both of those, so they've got some revenge on their mind tonight. Also trying to keep hope alive that they can run down this Real Monarchs team and pass them for first place in the Western Conference. All right, Colin, let's dive into this. Let's go into our key players of the match. We'll start with the visitors. The Monarchs are led up top by Chandler Hoffman. He's been one of the best strikers in the entire circuit.
Yeah, Chandler Hoffman's someone who can do everything as a striker. He can play with his back to goal, link up play. He's strong in the air. He can get behind the defense, and most importantly, he can score goals.
15 in the back of the net this year, tied for second in the USL, only behind Reno's Dane Kelly, who will be sidelined here tonight. And up top for Reno 1868, they're going to lean heavily on their striker, Antoine Opano, who has been a sensational presence all year long. Opano has played more minutes than anybody on this team.
Yeah, no Dane Kelly, but Antoine Opano will be looking to have a great night tonight. Someone he's so hardworking. He presses defenders. He can take people on. He can score goals and assists. He's someone who's such a selfless striker. He's key to the way Reno 1868 play.
Take a look at tonight's starting 11s. First for the Monarchs, mentioned Hoffman at the top. Will be joined by Juan Mare, a recent signee out of Argentina. The back four for the Real Monarchs, very talented. In goal, Andrew Putna making just his third appearance of the year. On the other side of the pitch for Reno 1868, some changes for Ian Russell's team with the injury to Dane Kelly. Mac Pridham will get an opportunity to start. It'll be his 6th of the year. Matt Bersano returns from a brief stint up with the San Jose Earthquakes. He returns to goal for his 25th appearance of the year. The coaches in this matchup tonight, Mark Briggs in his first year with the Monarchs. The 35-year-old played professionally in a couple different countries, England, Denmark, and actually finished his career in the USL as a midfielder. And he'll be opposed on the other side of the pitch by Ian Russell, who I think right now has got to be a candidate for Coach of the Year. Both these guys.
Both are candidates for USL Coach of the Year. I think they've been both the best coaches in USL this season, and this will be an interesting battle between the two of them, first and second in the West.
Our head referee tonight, Malik Badal, will be assisted by Sarah Cortez and Julian Arias, as well as Sean Stimson on the sideline. Well, we are underway here tonight in downtown Reno. The third to last regular season match of the season for Reno 1868. And they will look to continue their climb up this Western Conference table.
Yeah, it looks like Real Monarchs are actually coming out in more of a 3-5-2, which is something they had success with on Wednesday against Sac Republic. So it looks like they're sticking with that formation.
Reno had a chance to rest on Wednesday. The Monarchs, as you mentioned, playing in nearby Sacramento, got a 2-0 win. And that was key for them as they're able to stay on top in first place in the Western Conference. Reno is hoping for a draw or a loss in that match to give them an opportunity to leapfrog them here tonight, but that will not be possible. Reno still 5 points back of the Monarchs, but really for this 1868 club, they'd love to get in first, but they really want to try and hammer home being one of the top 2 teams in the conference, because that would mean more home games here at Greater Nevada Field, where they have been outstanding.
Yeah, that win against Sac Republic definitely gave Monarchs a bit of a cushion against Reno. That 5-point lead, even if they lose tonight, they'll still be 2 points ahead, which is important with so few games left in the season. But yeah, Reno are really pushing for a top 2 spot. Home games are really important, I think, for both of these teams.
Be a throw-in now for the Monarchs. They're wearing the white jerseys tonight here on the road. 1868, and they're all blues. Vamos Azules, as they say here in the 7-7-5. Here's Kip Colby pushing the pace forward. Opano will volley it into the box, trying to find Pridham. It'll go over his head and out of play. And look at Andrew Putna, the 22-year-old from Illinois. Connor Sparrow, who had been the main guy for the Monarchs this season, appearing in 18 games to lead the team. He was signed to an MLS contract just a couple of weeks ago. He is here in uniform and listed as a reserve in this match, but it'll be Putna getting his second start of the week. He did get the assignment in Sacramento on Wednesday.
That was a clever ball from Putna there to find space on the right. Went for the long windup and poorly given away there by Nick Beasler.
Headed away by Pay. And back to goal. Opening minutes here tonight in downtown Reno. Luis Felipe tripped up as he was trying to push it forward by Emilio Orozco, and that'll draw a whistle. And a set piece opportunity coming up for Reno 1868.
Yeah, a little needless from Orozco there. Luis Felipe's touch was a little bit too far ahead of him, and it looked like The rest of the back line had it covered, but this will be a good set piece opportunity for Reno. Got a chance to get their guys like Matt Lagros and Jimmy Ockford in the box.
Luis Felipe and Emilio Orozco, two former products of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers of the NASL. So those two familiar with one another. A lot of crossovers in this match, a lot of guys that have some history with each other. Here's Chris Weehan, he'll drive it into the box. Deflected once, Pridham trying to get it. Cleared away by the Monarchs, and that was a dangerous position for Real.
Yeah, Mac Pridham was wide open on that cutback from Jimmy Ockford, but he just can't get quite of a sure foot on it. And after a goal line scramble there, Monarchs are able to clear it out. But that was threatening from Reno. Great set piece delivered from Chris Weehan. Find Jimmy Ockford on the far post. Ockford pull it back to find Mac Pridham, but Mac Pridham just, he doesn't quite connect with it. I think he looks up at the goal rather than following the ball all the way to his foot.
Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields, where Reno has gone 9-1-4 this year. That lone loss came all the way back on March 25th in their very first match against Orange County.
Yeah, they're a team that's been so good at home. Just win after win, a couple unfortunate draws, but they're a team that people are scared to go to. It's tough to come to this Reno team with the Battleborn Brigade behind them, the altitude, which of course isn't a problem at all for Salt Lake.
Yeah, we're actually looking at it right before the broadcast. Reno actually 50 feet higher than Sandy, Utah, which is where Rio Tinto Stadium is, home of the Monarchs. Here's a left-footed strike by Kip Colby, but he is blown off sides. Reno, though, early in the first 5 minutes, a couple good chances in the box.
Yeah, clever flick there from Mac Pridham to find Kip Colby, but he was pretty far off sides there.
So Putno will put it on a tee here as we watch everyone scramble back towards midfield. Two teams have not faced each other since well earlier in the season. Last locking up back on June the 19th in a match that saw the Monarchs hang on for a narrow 2-1 victory over 1868.
A game with a lot of drama at the end. For those who are watching, they remember Andrew Tarbell with the goalkeeper with two great chances towards the end. One where he smashes it off the crossbar, and then moments later he puts it away, but he's called offsides. Really a crazy end to that game.
Yeah, frantic finish in that contest. Tarbell, I guess you could call him a former Reno 1868 keeper. He has assumed the lead job up in San Jose with the Earthquakes. First round pick coming out of Clemson. And you said it, I mean, Tarbell squared up in front of the net and put a real strong strike into it, but it would go off the crossbar, and the Monarchs would survive with a win. The first matchup between these two teams was not much of a contest. It was in the early part of the season, April the 6th, and the Monarchs beat Reno 5-3, and it really wasn't even that close because Reno got two of those goals in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was a real push towards the end. It was 4-3, and they started really pushing. There was a bit of a belief that they could come back from that, but then, of course, they conceded that fifth in stoppage time to quell any danger there. But yeah, that was I think a different Reno 1868 team to the team we've seen lately. The beginning of the season, they still had their growing pains. They still weren't quite gelling together, but they'll be looking forward to having this game here in Reno to show Salt Lake that they mean business.
It would take Reno another month before they would get their first win. It took them until May the 6th in Phoenix before they finally got 3 points. They would start the season with no wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. And since then, they've been arguably the best team in the entire United Soccer League. In fact, the last power rankings that came out had Reno voted as the #1 ranked team, even ahead of these Monarchs.
Yeah, after that Phoenix game, they just haven't looked behind. They haven't looked back at all, and they've been a force, offensively as well as defensively.
Richards trying to find Pridham, gets it knocked back to him. He'll have a throw in now. Gets it to Matt LaGrassa. We'll send it back to Jimmy Ockford. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Justin Schmitz on the throw in there. One of 3 players on the Monarchs back line that hails from the University of Washington. A lot of Huskies related in this matchup. Head coach Ian Russell, a product of UW, as is Reno's defender Brent Richards. Pretty amazing, though, to see so many guys connected to the same university for the Monarchs. Moberg, Pay, and Schmitz. 3 of their 5 backline players, all coming from the University of Washington.
Yeah, I'm sure people involved in the men's soccer program at University of Washington are looking at this game right now with some admiration for their alumni.
Not only played at Washington, all these guys had really good careers there as well. I'm talking about Richards, a guy that left as one of the top goal scorers in Huskies history. Russell himself had very impressive showing there. Chris Weehan with the throw, and as we approach the 10-minute mark, Monarchs able to steal it and send it back the other way. Lindo Mafeka knocks it out of bounds. We'll say it was last touched by the Monarchs, and throw a throw in for Kip Colby. Colby along with Matt Bersano, the goalkeeper, a couple guys that are San Jose Earthquakes players, along with Lindo Mafeka. They're here getting some playing time in Reno. Colby starting last weekend's game for Reno 1868 against Portland after the club saw Brenton Griffiths go down to injury.
Yeah, and I think Reno fans and players and coaches alike would all be happy to see Kip Colby back after a little while away from the Reno team. He's so good getting up and down that line. He's such a threat in attacking. He's a great defender as well.
Mafeka will send it out wide for Colby. You can see him there in those highlighter yellow cleats. Back to Mafeka, reigning USL Player of the Week at 4 goals. A hat trick in Reno's win over Oklahoma City, and then also a goal in their 6-1 victory over Portland a week ago.
Yeah, Lindo Mafeka the last 2 games was outstanding. What I'd like to see from him, though, is to carry that momentum forward and build some consistency and really show that he is one of the most talented players in this league.
Well, and I think in a game like this, when you're without Dane Kelly, you want to see Lindo Mafeka rise to the occasion and really be a leader for this Reno offense in a game that they would love to get here in their home building.
Yeah, I think this is an important game for guys like Lindo Mafeka, for Antoine Openo, and for Chris Weehan to really get themselves amongst the goals. And Mac Pridham as well. Mac Pridham, if he gets a chance in front of the goal, I think he'll bury one. He's such a lethal finisher when he gets those chances.
Here's Richards. Send it back into the other side of the field as Colby will keep it from going out of play. Fans, Coors Lights is a proud supporter of our broadcast. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility.
I think it's going to be important for this Reno team to try and run the channels for Mac Pridham and Antoine Openo to make those diagonal runs in the corner and try to pull that back 3 further apart from each other. They don't want them to be so tight and central together.
Felipe trying to get in there to steal it away. Mafeka will get it back for Reno. Able to pull it away from Juan Mare. Richards again pushing it forward for 1868. He was looking to spring Antoine Openo, but he let that one go too far, and a quick put back in play by Putna. But a whistle blown now by our head referee, Malik Badal.
Yeah, they're obviously trying to get behind this high line early. Mac Pridham and Antoine Openo are hugging the shoulder of that back three, trying to get him behind, trying to make those runs, but Brent Richards just hit it a little too heavy there.
LaGrasso using his head to try and get it back to midfield. Monarchs will take possession here. Into the box, pushed away by Morel.
And that was a dangerous cross there from Charlie Adams. He has such a great left foot. He can make the ball curve and dip however he wants. And he tried to drop that over the head of Jimmy Ockford before it got to Jordan Morel there. He's someone that Reno will want to look out for his crosses, especially from set pieces. He's a really dangerous corner kick as well.
Jimmy Ockford, Reno's captain, sending it forward to Richards. A lot of movement going through Richards here in the early goings tonight. He's a guy that played striker during his college days. And not unusual to see him doing what he's been doing so far in this match. Reno does like to send their outside backs forward. You've seen Richards and Colby already in this match playing very far ahead, and a lot of times so far in this match kind of leading the charge offensively.
Yeah, I think it's an important facet of this 4-4-2 diamond is the fullbacks get up and they provide the width. They're so good at getting forward, providing crosses, being an outlet, and then getting back when it's time to get back. It's not an easy job. A lot of running required being outside backs in this system.
Well, I think as we've learned throughout the season from watching this Reno 1868 team, you can't run this 4-4-2 diamond without having a really talented back line.
No, you cannot. And it's not just having a talented back. Oh.
Dangerous ball there from the Monarchs. Bersano will step up and grab it out of harm's way.
It's not just about having a talented back line, though. It's about having a talented back line that can step up and win the ball high up the field, because this Reno team likes to keep the ball high up the field. They don't like to sit back and try to block shots. That's not how they play, and it would be a dangerous way for them to play with just Matt LaGrasse as the holding mid. So they try to win the ball high up the field and keep attacking again and again with wave after wave of attacks.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Felipe, over to Richards. Driving into the box. Brent can't quite keep it there, and it'll go out of play. And another goal kick coming for Putna.
Yeah, that was well held up by Justin Schmidt there. He forced Brent Richards down the line where he took a heavy touch there. But yeah, Brent Richards getting up the field once again there.
Nil-nil here in the first half between these two Western Conference powers. Big turnaround for Real Monarchs. They were one of the worst teams in the circuit last year, now the top team in the West. When they clinched a playoff spot earlier this year, it was the first time in their franchise history. It was a big deal for them, and they'd obviously like to finish off this year strong, heading into postseason play.
Yeah, they're a team that's had a really, really good year. At the beginning to the middle of the season, they looked unstoppable. They looked completely untouchable. Guys like Chandler Hoffman, like Sebastian Velasquez, they're so talented. And then in the back, they're really strong too. And the midfield held together by Nick Beasler. Really, they have all the pieces for really a championship winning team.
Ari trying to chase that one down, but can't quite get to it. And so Bersano will put it back in play for Reno. Gets it to Matt LaGrassa. Colby will send it back for Morrell, and now Jimmy Ockford. Richards trying to give a little lead time there for Luis Felipe. Can't quite get to it.
Oh, that was well handled by Jimmy Ockford. He dealt with the press there really, really well.
Here's Chris Weehan. Openo can't quite control it. Good ball in from Weehan, and Antoine couldn't quite corral it.
Yeah, I think Openo is a little frustrated because he had all his momentum on his leading left foot. He wanted the ball right there to just take the touch and have the quick snapshot. The ball just came in just behind him, so he had to try to push it forward off balance, and it just made too heavy of a touch as a result.
Here comes a push from the Monarchs. Schmidt playing forward, now dumps it off. Contact there with Richards and Adams slow to get up. Face down on the grass now. And Malik Badal will come up and take a look here. Looks like he's all right. It'll be a throw-in now for Schmidt, who has made more appearances this year in MLS than USL after being drafted out of Washington. Tonight, his 5th USL appearance compared to 9 this year with Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, he's part of a good young core of Real Salt Lake players, along with guys like Justin Glad and Brooks Lennon. Really, there's an exciting future for this Real Salt Lake program, especially with these Monarchs guys, too.
Good ball from Matt LaGrassa to find Mac Pridham. Back now to Felipe. Trying to put his left foot into it, got contact, and now a whistle blown as he's trying to come in, and it'll go the other way for the Monarchs. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. The bigger the mountain, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Monarchs were trying to stay off sides there, but couldn't do it. They were feeding it in for Sebastian Velasquez, but he is blown off sides, and Bersano will let his team run back towards midfield.
That's something that Reno will want to be wary of, or late runs from Sebastian Velasquez. He's going to start in front of the defense, but he's going to try and make those runs in behind, and Charlie Adams can hit a ball on a dime every time. So I think Reno are a little fortunate that Sebastian Velasquez didn't quite time his run so well, because he looks dangerous.
Yeah, it seems like the Monarchs, their plan in this one has been trying to go over the top. I mean, just kind of continually sitting back, letting Reno play forward, and then hoping to be sprung on a good counterattack.
Yeah, definitely. And so far they've had some good movement from Mayer, from Chandler Hoffman and Velasquez, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to win the ball and then attack quickly, just straight down the middle.
Want to welcome our viewers tonight on My21 TV. Apologize, we had some technical difficulties here at the ballpark, so we are finally on the airwaves here in Northern Nevada. As always, you can also watch on YouTube as well as USLsoccer.com. A big whistle here from Badal. Where was it?
It looks like he's pointing to the spot for a penalty.
Take another look.
Oh, they missed it, but it looked like it took a deflection, and then off of was it Taylor Pay's hand there, I believe.
Face down here, I believe it's Charlie Adams. There's the clearance. Couldn't quite see where the whistle was drawn from. They blew it on Pay, though, and it is going to be a penalty kick for Reno.
Yeah, it looks like it just struck Pay's hand right after a deflection off of, I think it was Mac Pridham's back.
Well, Antoine Openo has been so good at earning penalties this year, the best in the United Soccer League. And he's been really good at converting these as well. We'll get a chance here after Adams finishes with the trainer, and it looks like Badal wants him to deal with this elsewhere so he can continue play. Openo is a perfect 2 for 2 in penalties this year. This is the 6th that he has been able to draw this season in 29 matches. Openo, right foot, blocks. Openo heads it off the crossbar. Weehan, no, and it's kicked out of bounds.
How did that not go in? The great initial save there from Putna. But it falls right to Openo, hits off the crossbar, and it goes down the line. And Putna makes another save off of Chris Weehan's attempt before Weehan then follows with going wide. Wow, what a great job there from Andrew Putna.
Unbelievable. Have there been some wild crossbar moments between these two teams this year? We talked about that Tarbell play earlier this year. And incredible.
Yeah, really incredible. I mean, I think Monarchs can feel a little hard done by the penalty. Yes, I saw the handball even from up here, but it took a wild deflection on Mac Pridham, and Taylor Pay didn't see it coming. So I mean, I could see that being a penalty. But Andrew Putna with 2 fantastic saves. Really, I think Reno need to do better on those rebounds.
Openo trying to head it. It looked like it hit the top of the crossbar, went straight down, and did not go past the end line. And then Weehan was trying to figure out a way to get that in the back of the net and just couldn't do it. So give some credit there to Putna and the Monarchs dodging a bullet here in the first half.
Oh, and then almost springing a counterattack from Chandler Hoffman right away. Chandler Hoffman's movement has been so clever so far this game, but yeah, just times a little too early, and it's just a head or shoulder offside.
So the first time for Openo that he has taken a penalty kick and not been able to deliver. Stolen away at the midfield by the Monarchs. Another trip as Mafeka was trying to get it back, and he was just knocked down from behind. And that'll give Reno back possession here as we cross into minute number 27.
Yeah, Mafeka does well after initially losing the ball, but Brody's touch just takes the ball away from him. Mafeka does really well to get back, and then Brody just makes the foul there.
Colby will send it back to the captain. Ockford forward now to Richards.
I think what Monarchs are doing a good job defensively. They're not really pressing the defenders, but they're cutting off all the passing options into guys like Mafeka and Chris Weehan, really preventing Reno from trying to get out of there.
Ockford again over to Richards. Now Mafeka coming forward. Reno being very patient here. Trying to crack into this defensive set by the Monarchs. A lot of white jerseys protecting their half of the field. Colby trying to find Pridham, knocked away. Here's Mafeka now. Back down to Richards. Volleys it. Headed out of trouble, and here comes Mare. And another offsides as Hoffman and Mare trying to time that one up, and almost had a 2v no fast break there. That was a very dangerous sight.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Mare is complaining about, though, because it looked pretty clearly offside to me. Chandler Hoffman tries to come across, but he's a good 2 yards ahead of the half line there, while Reno were holding on the half.
Some bodies again for the Monarchs. LaGrassa making contact with Mare. They'll send it wide now. Colby on the defense, and that one goes wild right in front of the Battle-Born Brigade.
Mare's looked lively so far today, though. He's linked up well with Chandler Hoffman and Velasquez. He's had some great passes, and he's been able to take people on and counter the ball really well.
That was Andrew Brody. Kicked it away. Now Reno back in control as Colby brings it forward. Swing it back down to the other side of the field, this time for Luis Felipe. LaGrassa.
Look how tight Monarchs are between the lines. There's about a good 25 yards between Orozco and Hoffman there, their last defender and their furthest striker. Really, they're trying to protect that space between the lines. They know that that's where Reno are so dangerous.
Quickly put back in play. Monarchs pushing a line forward. Good defense there by Opano, coming back and providing some coverage there on Velasquez. And he'll force him into making a mistake, and Bersano now will give out the signals. Adams gets it in. Bersano there to meet it.
Bersano does well to get to the near post delivery from Adams.
Reno trying to counter here with Pridham.
Oh, an excellent ball from Matt LaGrassa to find the on-rushing Kip Colby. Bit of a miscommunication there between Orozco and Putna there, and Reno earn a corner as a result.
So Chris Weehan, who has been the best in terms of assists this year in the United Soccer League, he's got 11 from the right corner. And again, the Monarchs able to keep this a 0-0 score. Schmidt able to get around LaGrassa.
Oh, an excellent ball from Charlie Adams to find Andrew Brody on the opposite side. He's now isolated against Mafeka.
Cleared away by Morel. Chris Weehan will quickly push it the other way. It's to Felipe. You can see how much pressure there is in the middle of the field. Look how many white shirts tightly packed into the middle.
Yeah, they're really trying to negate the effect of Chris Weehan and Luis Felipe. They know how much Reno like to find the ball in their feet with a little bit of space between the opposition midfield and defense, and they're trying to restrict that from happening.
Colby to LaGrassa. LaGrassa puts his right foot on it, almost gets it past Putna. Another diving stop. He has been good in goals so far tonight.
Yeah, good decision there from Matt LaGrassa. He's about 35 out and has some space to take a shot, so why not? Opano and Mac Pridham recognize follow through, but Putna does well not just to save it, but he holds on to it.
Broadcast night brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Morel did a good job boxing out there to ensure that would be a goal kick as opposed from the corner. Fans of the USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. and follow them on Twitter at USL. Here's Ockford again. Over to Mafeka. Richards. And again, Brent Richards. Too much, trying to find Mac Pridham.
Yeah, I think Reno need to see a little more movement up top to stretch that defense. Monarchs' lines are so tight that runs in behind are going to be the only way to really stretch them and get a threatening ball into the attacking half.
Well, and that's usually the mindset of Reno offensively in a lot of matches when they've got Dane Kelly and Antoine Openo, is go over the top and let them stretch the defense.
Yeah, especially not just through the middle. They like to run the channels, that space between the center back and the outside back. But I think Monarchs defending so centrally, there's not really those gaps that there normally are. With three in the back, they're tight in the middle defensively, and they're not stretched across the whole line.
Felipe finds Mac Pridham. Met immediately by two defenders, though, and they'll steal it away.
I mean, look at the space defensively between
Nothing.
Orozco, Pay, and Moberg. They're about 8 yards total apart, not even just between one or the other. From Orozco, who's playing left center back, to Moberg playing right center back, there's about 8 yards of space. So they're really restricting the middle of the field.
Our match tonight brought to you by Coors Light. What would we be without our mountains? Without the things that push us further and call us higher. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields. Second to last home match this season for Reno 1868. Monarchs steal it at midfield, putting some pressure. Mafeka able to get his head on it and cleared away as Pridham gets a piece. It'll be chased down by Orozco. Now Schmidt.
Oh, well done from Luis Felipe to read that from Schmidt.
Maybe a little antsy on the pass there, though.
Yeah, I mean, he saw Mac Pridham with a bit of space, but Orozco reads it really well. Sees it and snuffs out the danger.
Good play in this first half. Reno had a penalty kick opportunity. Antoine Openo could not put it past Andrew Putna, though. Made a great diving stop to keep this a 0-0 contest. Good job by Colby to keep that one alive. Now Mafeka over to Felipe. Some space now for Richards. Centers it and just misses Antoine Openo. That was a great set of passes, though, by Reno. Eventually, finally getting Brent Richards that space he's been desiring on that right side.
Yeah, they switched the ball really quickly from Colby to Richards, and then Richards has that space to whip in really an excellent ball to Openo, but Openo just can't quite connect there. But that's a lot better from Reno, a lot better ball movement, and Openo's run in the near post was fantastic too.
Just a hair out of his reach. Maybe just kind of kicked that foot out a little bit, and he almost would have had it. It was close. A good opportunity, though, for Reno. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Real nice crowd here tonight for this match. It is warmed up a little bit compared to last week, but I'd say this is one of the better crowds we've had all season.
Yeah, this crowd's comparable to both the Phoenix and Atlas games, which I think those two games with, Atlas being who they are and Phoenix having Didier Drogba tend to draw more of the neutrals or the casual fan, but it looks like word's spreading about this Reno 1868 team.
LaGrassa can't catch up there. Mare plowing through Reno's defense. Met by Ockford. Another man takes over, and it just barely out of the reach of Matt Persano. A dangerous strike that time by the Monarchs.
Yeah, Mare's been so good running at the Reno defense. He's really good at taking people on, drawing in defenders, and then he can find Sebastian Velasquez with a little bit of space. Velasquez's shot goes wide, though, much to the relief of Matt Bersano.
Both teams have had their chances here in this first half. Still waiting for the icebreaker, though. Headed backwards that time by Orozco, 25-year-old from Oxnard, California. See him there in those bright yellow cleats. Over to Schmidt. First season of pro soccer, drafted 35th overall. 9 appearances with Real Salt Lake. He hasn't played for them, though, since May the 31st. He actually started the second game of the year as a rookie. He's bounced back and forth between there and here with the Monarchs in the USL. Here's Weehan. Trying to find Openo, but he got tripped up there.
I'm really digging Justin Schmidt rocking the Copas, the classic black boot look. It's gone missing in modern soccer.
Mare. Over to Schmidt. Met by Richards. Here's Orozco now pushing forward. Richards able to clear it. A lot of white shirts in Reno's half right now. Haven't seen this very many times tonight.
Yeah, Monarchs have been attacking so quickly. Now they're showing a little more patience. They're trying to knock the ball around, trying to offset Reno's defense a little bit.
Beasler gets it back to midfield. There's Orozco. Morel putting pressure. Saved on the sideline there. Monarchs continue this possession. Back to Schmidt.
It was well handled by Moberg after the initial slip. He saw the press from Chris Weehan and was able to slip it by him.
Adams centers it and almost had a chance there, but a good job by Bersano leaping up and swatting it away with his right hand, but that's going to get the Monarchs their first corner kick of the night.
Bersano does really well here not to abandon his near post. When you see a left-footed guy on the left side putting the cross, your tendency is to step out and try to catch the cross, but he doesn't leave his goal, and he makes a great save there.
It'll be Adams from the left corner. Headed out of trouble by Pridham. Ockford able to cut that one off. And a throw in coming again for the Monarchs. That last one by Adams, it almost looked like I wasn't quite sure if he was actually trying to cross that or if he was actually going for goal.
He might be going for goal there. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we just saw in the corner how he came across the ball and turned an in-swinging cross into an out-swinging one. He can come across and almost hit it with the outside of his boot there and get that curl towards goal, which is really just a pretty remarkable skill.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Good touch there from Weehan. Tripped up is Mac Pridham and a whistle blown. That might be a card. And it will be a yellow card pulled out on Andrew Brody. And that would have been a pretty interesting opportunity for Reno had Pridham not been taken down.
Yeah, it was a great flick from Chris Weehan to find Openo. Actually, it was Openo who got taken out. The two man buns it was tough to figure out who's who, but Openo really threw to be able to run at the defense, and Brody just comes into the back of him.
Chris Weehan on the set piece. He's been able to score in these spots this year. Right foot into the box, knocked away once again by Putna.
Well handled on the cross there from Putna.
A lot of bodies here for Reno, though. Openo into the box, headed off the post. Again, it goes off the post.
Looks like Mac Pridham headed the ball in from an offsides position, though. Mac Pridham, that was a great header. It's so hard when the ball's behind you, when it's coming in from that angle, to get any real power behind it. But he does so well springing up and really getting his shoulders and his neck into that.
Andrew Putna, if he can get into the locker room and still see a 0 next to his name, he is going to be very fortunate. Reno has had now 4 or 5 chances to find the back of the net, and for one reason or another, just have not been able to do it.
Yeah, I think this has been a pretty good 0-0 from both teams. A lot of good chances on either side, a lot of really good play, and interesting tactics too. I think this has been a good game to watch, not only for a fan of either team, but for a neutral as well.
Well, it could be a preview of the Western Conference Championship a month or so from now. These are the top 2 teams right now in the Western Conference. Reno wanted a whistle, didn't get it.
Yeah, Kip Colby, after doing so well to get away from pressure, just gets taken out from behind, and really strange not to hear the ref's whistle there.
Three rounds of the Western Conference playoffs, 8 teams will make it. Both of these teams have already clinched this spot. I have to double check my math, but I believe if Reno wins tonight, it would secure them a finish no worse than 4th place. I think that would then guarantee them a home playoff game, which I think they'd have to try very hard not to get at this point, but I'm pretty sure a win would guarantee it at this point, as LaGrassa sends it high for Colby.
And we've talked about how important a home playoff game would be for Reno, with how dangerous they are here in Reno.
Lindo Mafeka. Hard collision there, won't draw a whistle. 2 minutes of stoppage time added here in the first half. Coming up at halftime, Julian Delgadio of News 4 with a feature on Lindo Mafeka. 4 goals last week. USL Player of the Week. An important piece on this Reno 1868 club, as they have risen all the way to 2nd place in the Western Conference in their inaugural season. Openo. Got a little crossed up there.
Yeah, if Kip was more aware, he'd be through right there.
Over the top again for Mare. Ockford right on him.
Really great hold-up play from Mare against a pretty strong Jimmy Ockford.
Perhaps time for one more crack from Salt Lake here, as stoppage time winds down here in the first half. They'll get it over to Schmidt. He'll center it. Too high. Trying to connect with Andrew Brody.
Yeah, a bit of a poor cross there from Justin Schmidt. He's had a couple so far. I don't know how comfortable he is there playing as the left wing back. I'm pretty sure he plays as a center back for Real Salt Lake.
So there's the first half whistle, and the top 2 teams in the Western Conference have battled to a 0-0 draw. An exciting first half with opportunities for both sides. We'll see if one of them can find the back of the net in the second 45 minutes. The first matchup between these 2 teams here at Greater Nevada Fields, and a battle for first place on the line. We'll come back with that feature on Lindo Mafeka. We'll also have highlights of our first half and get you set for second half action right after this. You're watching United Soccer League action on My 21 TV.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation.
Hey, 1868 fans, I'm News 4's Julian Delgadio, and what a season it has been so far for our soccer club. After a shaky start, don't ask Coach Russell about it. The team now sits on top of the entire USL power rankings, and a big reason for that has been the play of Lindo Mafeka down the stretch. He had 4 goals and 1 assist last week alone, ultimately being named the USL Player of the Week.
Weehan, Mafeka drills it home again! The hat trick for Lindo Mafeka!
10,653 miles away from Reno, Lindo Mafeka would fall in love with soccer.
Since I was like 4. Yeah. Back in South Africa, I was just talking to my mates the other day, yesterday, about it. How we started playing soccer, just in the yard and stuff like that. And now it's all right here.
Born in Durban, South Africa, Mafeka would attend college at USF in South Florida, eventually getting a shot at the big leagues.
With the 6th pick of the 2nd round of the 2017 MLS Super Draft, the San Jose Earthquakes select from the University of South Florida, midfielder Lindo Mafeka.
And then they decided in April that I'm going to come down here and play with the second team. It's been great since then.
Since then, Mafeka has made an immediate impact on the club.
Lindo Mafeka, left-footed strike, and it's in! Off the post and good! Lindo Mafeka!
But Coach Russell and the Earthquakes organization believed Mafeka could do more.
You know, our GM from the Earthquakes, Jesse, came into town, and we had a sit down with Lindo before the Oklahoma City game and just said, hey, you need to kind of step it up a bit. And it's always good as a coach to see some response, and he got a hat trick that game. So, excellent.
The midfielder would finish that week earning his first ever USL Player of the Week honor.
Mafeka, left foot, and he gets it!
I mean, it's great. I know, a lot of, my teammate has a lot of to do with it. Because without them, I wouldn't have scored all these goals and stuff, assists and stuff like that. So this is for us, for everybody. Player of the week, I think it means team of the week.
He's been top class, one of the best players on the field. I think one of the best players in the league when he plays like that.
Now all eyes are on the final stretch of the season, with the club in striking distance of first place in the Western Conference.
I think it would mean everything for the city and to us, because we came from so far back. One time we lost 4-0, 4-1, whatever, and now I just don't see us losing. It's just hard to see that, we're gonna come to our stadium and lose a game. That's tough for me to actually process, but anything can happen. It's a soccer game, so it would mean everything for us to be number 1 right now. I think we deserve it, so I think it would mean everything for the players and for the coach.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at our best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
The race for the USL Golden Boot is one to watch entering the final weeks of the USL regular season. The USL's all-time leading scorer, Dane Kelly, leads the league's top offense in Reno 1868 FC. Kelly's 18 goals on the year are chasing Matt Fondy's USL single-season scoring record of 22, set back in 2015, as Kelly pursues the first Golden Boot of his career. Enzo Martinez is second in the race with 16, but hasn't tallied a goal since week 24. Martinez and the Charlotte Independents enter week 28 having clinched a spot in the playoffs, but looking to hold on to the number 2 seed. The Charleston Battery's Romario Williams has only played in 20 games this season, yet has scored 15 goals. June's Player of the Month is looking to get back into scoring form. The Jamaican international has been held scoreless since August 12th. Real Monarchs SLC's Chandler Hoffman has already matched his single-season high of 14 goals, and has done it with the fewest shots of any player in Golden Boot contention. Hoffman's 46 shots are about half that of Dane Kelly, who leads the league with 93 shots. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds' Corey Hertzog has played the most minutes of the players in the running and is coming off his third 2-goal performance on the year. Hertzog's brace against Bethlehem Steel FC brought his season total to 13, the same number he had in the 2016 regular season. With 3 weeks to go, the contenders will look to end on a high note as the race nears the finish line. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger.
Yeah.
Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Halftime here at Greater Nevada Field. 0-0 between Reno and the Real Monarchs. Back alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies. Colin, how did you feel like that first half just kind of played out? Obviously, two very talented teams, the top two teams in the Western Conference. And, I mean, overall, no goals, but that was some good soccer.
Yeah, some very good soccer and an interesting tactical battle. Real Monarchs are really trying to limit the space that Reno love to operate in. Reno are still trying to get some chances and playing some good attacking soccer. But Real Monarchs look really dangerous, especially on the counter.
All right, let's take a look at those first half highlights. And obviously, no goals scored, but there was still some drama in the first half of this one. Reno, plenty of chances early. This one here coming from Kip Colby. He was called off sides, but that was a familiar scene for Reno in the first half, was just hitting the post, the crossbar, wherever it was. There were a lot of deflections.
Yeah, counting the 2 offsides ones, Reno have hit both posts and the crossbar.
Antoine Opino would get a penalty kick after a handball from Real and a skirmish around the net, but Reno just could not find the back of it.
Yeah, and credit to Andrew Putna, makes a great save, and Antoine Opino is probably kicking himself for not finishing the rebound, but Putna makes a great save on the second rebound.
Charlie Adams had a strong first half, couple good balls against Matt Bersano here trying to find the back of the net. Bersano up to the challenge. Chris Weehan from the corner. Couldn't quite connect to it. Really, both of these teams had some chances in this first half. It wasn't like we went 45 minutes without drama. There certainly was.
Yeah, and there was just good soccer as well. It was a great midfield battle, I thought. And, yeah, I think both teams can feel like they played pretty well in that first half.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this one will play out. Reno in second place, currently trailing the Monarchs by 5 points. If they want any chance of topping them and becoming the first place team in the West, they're going to have to rally and try and get 3 points here tonight. But we'll see how this one will play out in the second 45 minutes. No score, 0-0 from Greater Nevada Field. We'll have second half action coming up right after this.
Visit GreaterNevadaField.com for tickets and information your tickets at guest services behind section 105 or online at renofrightfest.com. Ladies and gentlemen, your Reno 1868 FC are in the playoffs. Support the team with the official locker room tee, available at the team store behind section 103. 1868 fans, the party doesn't stop after tonight's match. Tennessee Steel Breeze perform upstairs at Great Nevada Field at the Tito's Handmade Vodka stage. Admission is free after 9 p.m. and your first drink is poured in a commemorative Tito's copper mug. Learn about all of the free summer concerts by visiting GreaterNevadaField.com. Attention Reno 1868 FC family member season ticket holders. Price lock for next season at this season's price expires after tonight's match. You can reserve your seats by going to 1868royal.com on your mobile device in the comfort of your own seat, or by stopping by the yellow 1868 tent located behind section 104 to speak with one of our representatives. This is your last chance to ascend next season at the lowest price available.
Back inside Greater Nevada Field, the Battle-Born Brigade has come in big numbers here tonight. A lot of them taking a break here at halftime as we get set for the second 45 of this one between Reno and the Real Monarchs SLC. With Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies. Colin, when we look at what happened in the first half, let's start with the visitors, the Monarchs. What do they want to do here? Maybe some adjustments at halftime to try and come away with a win here tonight.
I think their game plan's really working. I think that playing the way that they are, really condensing between the lines, really having a tight back three, I think it's doing them some good. So I think coming out the second half, trying to do the same, trying to get Mare and Hoffman and Velasquez through on the counter a little more, and I think they could maybe pull a result. For Reno, I think switching the ball side to side quicker, I think that's the answer. I think they've had some good opportunities when they were able to start at one side, switch to the other, and then get across. And so they'll be looking to do that more.
When a team plays them so tightly in the midfield like that, how do you break through that?
Play the ball wide. You want to play the ball wide, stretch them, force them to come one way, and then you go the other way. So really just trying to get them over to commit to one side and then switch it to the other. Or just completely bypassing the midfield. Finding the runs of Mac Pridham and Antoine Openo behind that defense. But those back three have done a good job of handling that.
Take a look at some of the other scores from tonight. A draw tonight between Rio Grande Valley and Swope Park. The Toros had the advantage for the majority of that one. But big performance by Swope Park to pull away a point. They're now tied currently with Reno. Although if this match finishes in a draw as well, Reno would keep a 1-point lead on Swope Park. San Antonio a 2-0 win over Tulsa, so that will get them 3 points closer. San Antonio now as well tied with Reno, so it is very tightly bunched. This top four is going to be a fight. You've got Reno, Salt Lake, San Antonio, Swope Park, and then you can't forget about what they're doing right now down in the desert as the Phoenix Rising and Didier Drogba as a team that has won 5 consecutive matches. They'll play tomorrow, and certainly a team to look out for in the standings. Reno would love to host a playoff game, and even though they're in second right now with only 3 matches to go, tonight included, but they're not guaranteed that home match yet. They have to continue to fight in this tightly packed Western Conference.
No, they're not guaranteed anything right now, and getting a result will be huge towards that top 4 hope. But yeah, that Phoenix team is really starting to hit their stride right in time for playoffs. That's when you want to gain form, is in the close season. So good for them. They're a team to definitely watch out for with all that talent.
So we're underway now here in the second half. Teams will flip sides. So Putna will be in front of the Battle-Born Brigade. You can rest assured that he will be harassed for the remainder of this one tonight. 1868 in those home blues with the Monarchs wearing the all-whites. Reno's been able to win their last 5 consecutive matches here at home. They have not drawn since back on July 22nd.
Good strength and agility from Sebastian Velasquez to get away from not only Luis Felipe's, but Matt Lagrosse's tackle.
Dangerous ball there, and that one goes in. A headed goal right out of the gates by Chandler Hoffman, his 16th of the year.
Oh, and that was excellent play from Sebastian Velasquez to find Charlie Adams. Charlie Adams whipped such a dangerous ball, and Chandler Hoffman's lurking at the far post to do what he does best and heads for our Monarchs goal at the beginning of the second half here.
So a jolting start to this second half for Reno, as the Monarchs, who have beaten Reno twice already this year, have grabbed the advantage here after just a minute and a half.
Really just another dangerous cross on that left side of Charlie Adams. He's been fantastic tonight.
That's his 8th assist of the year. He's been one of the best in the USL this season. And now Reno will have to fight just to re-equalize. Monarchs overall have been in a pretty defensive formation in this game. Do you expect the 1-0 lead to cause them to change and maybe even sit back even more?
Possibly. I think they're going to want to frustrate Reno more and more and let Reno really run out of ideas in the attacking half by giving them so little space. But it looks like Max Lakowecki has come in on the left side for Justin Schmidt here. Lakowecki, more of a natural left-footed attacking fullback.
Substitution presented by the Les Schwab Tire Center. Our goals tonight presented by Audi Reno Tahoe. Ockford over to Morrell.
I think it's important for Reno to remember, though, that there's basically a whole half still to play. Looked like a foul there on Lindo Mafeka. It's barreled in the back of him, but no call from the referee.
Been a physical game for Lindo. He's been thrown down a couple times without a whistle being blown.
Yeah, I think Monarchs have identified him as the danger man and know that Reno attacks like to go through Mafeka, so they're limiting that in him any space. If he does receive the ball with his back to goal, they're coming into him hard.
Kip Colby will send it backwards to Morrell, then cross the field to Ockford. And I think that's a great point to remember. The goal frustrating to start this half, but you've got an entire 45 minutes practically to equalize and then some. And this is a team we've seen that can score goals quickly and in bunches and even against some of the best defensive competition in the circuit.
Yeah, never count Reno out, especially at home. They're so good at just really finishing their chances. So they're going to look to create a lot in the second half. Monarchs will have to be wary about not making a single mistake, really defending really tight like they have been.
Richards over to Morrell. Colby tries driving it towards the middle of the field, and then back to Richards. Barely got it through that time. Mafeka. Over to Antoine Opino. Trying to find Pridham there. Can't get it. And cleared away by the Monarchs.
I like that Antoine Opino is trying to show a little more urgency. He's picking the ball up wide and running at people. He's really trying to offset this Monarchs defense, who have been happy sitting back and letting Reno try to pass their way behind when it really hasn't been on.
Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. One more home match, October the 14th, when Reno will play the Sac Republic in the regular season finale. In between now and then, next weekend, Reno on the road when they will play at Orange County, team they have split with this year. Orange County winning here at Greater Nevada Field. They're the only team that's been able to do that this year, way back on March 25th. And then Reno getting the win down there about a month ago.
Yeah, and Reno were really good down in Orange County. They looked really threatening. The attackers meshed really well, and they defended well too. That was a game that they really did dominate Orange County.
Mafeka over to Colby. Flicks it into the box. Pridham can't find it. Gets spun around after knocking down Orozco. And a whistle will send everyone away.
It was a good, dangerous in-swinging cross there from Kip Colby. Does well to get to the end line and then cuts back, try and find Mac Pridham. Looks like Mac Pridham came in a little bit too hard on Orozco, according to the referee.
Putna coming off of a clean sheet Wednesday in the win over Sacramento. Came up with that great penalty save in the first half, and he still has that clean sheet here in the second half.
All right. Great quick play there between Chandler Hoffman and Sebastian Velasquez. And they try to send Mare through, but now we have an 1868 counterattack.
Good hold-up play by Pridham to allow Opino to come forward. Can't quite get it to Mafeka. Felipe came barreling in. Reno's able to save it. Mafeka with his left foot too high goes on top of goal. But a good job by Reno and how quickly they were able to turn the field there.
Yeah, and that's where they're dangerous. They love to attack the space in behind. They love to counter with numbers, keeping the ball on the ground. Great win from Luis Felipe there.
Orozco trying to get away from Pridham.
Does well.
Sent forward by Adams, who had that great cross, which led to the headed goal by Hoffman earlier in this half. That time it goes out of bounds, and here comes Ockford. Trying to find some space here. Richards.
Great run from Opino. Another intervention from Orozco, who's been fantastic today.
Contact there between Lekowicki and Felipe. And it'll be a throw-in now for the Monarchs. Reno thinned out a little bit here tonight with the absence of Dane Kelly as well as Brian Brown, who is on the shelf. If Ian Russell were to look to his bench, maybe to find a spark offensively, what kind of moves do you think that he could make tonight?
I think this would be a good game for Junior Burgos. I think his threat from long-distance shooting is something that will worry the Monarchs' defense, especially them sitting back so much.
Here's Pridham. Able to hold it up. Felipe into the box, but then quickly cleared. Morel gets it back to his keeper, Bersano. Came in with 9 clean sheets, which was tied for second in the USL this year. See if Weehan can save that one. Can't quite get to it. And a goal kick now for Putna.
Another good option might be Seth Kasipli, someone who can move the ball around quickly in the midfield. I think this has been a tough game for Luis Felipe with how little space he's had. he's been closed down every time he's gotten. His decision making just hasn't been quite quick enough to deal with it.
Put another 22-year-old, the rookie out of Illinois, Chicago. Played for the UIC Flames. Drafted this season and getting some late season playing time with Connor Sparrow getting the MLS contract a couple weeks ago. They've gone through a couple keepers this year in Salt Lake for this Monarchs team, but yet they have been able to put together a 60-point season to this juncture. They've been equally good this year at scoring and defending. Into the box. Trouble here, and a big wind-up kick goes high off the foot of Hoffman.
Yeah, that's a difficult skill, the side volley there. So hard to keep it down. Hoffman just can't quite do it there.
Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Here's Matt LaGrassa. Trying to get it to Weehan, but again, tight defense in the middle by the Monarchs.
Yeah, Nick Beasler has done a really good job of organizing this midfield, making sure they don't give the space to these guys, as Matt LaGrassa saw there.
Good pass there from Colby. Reno will switch the field, though. Here's Ockford. Looks like a substitution looming for Reno 1868. Looks like Brent Griffiths stretching out at midfield.
Interesting to bring a center back in. There might be a problem with one of Jordan Morel or Jimmy Ockford.
Openo fighting through. Trying to get it to the center. Who did it touch last? And it looks like Reno is going to earn a corner here. So Griffiths will check in, and he's going to take over for Mac Pridham.
This is interesting because this means that Brent Richards will slide to the forward. Kip Colby will switch sides to right back. Jordan Morel will go to left back. Brent Griffiths will slide in as center back, and it looks like Openo will play up top with Brent Richards, who's played right back or left back all season long, but has a great goal-scoring record, not only with the University of Washington, but in PDL2 with Portland under-23s. He really was a striker growing up.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that in 37 games with that U23, 37 games, 26 goals. So he's very capable.
Oh, he is capable. He hasn't done it at the USL level. I'm not sure if Portland 2 ever played him there, but he is someone who can score goals. He'll make a lot of runs. He'll be really selfless in his runs, in his build-up play, and he'll try to harass those defenders as well.
Going over the top for Richards. Stays on sides. Richards will earn a corner.
Right away, makes such a dangerous run, and Taylor Pay just can't keep up with him there, but recovers well to block the cross.
Good ball there by Lindo Mafeka.
Yeah, I think Richards wanted a little more of a softer touch because I think he could have had a shot there on the near post, but touch takes a little bit away from him there.
Here's Chris Weehan. Line drive. And again, it's cleared out by the Monarchs, and that was a wide open net for Reno 1868, and they just could not find a body to get that ball. Another chance that just does not come out in their favor tonight.
You can't let the ball come across the goal mouth like that on a corner kick and not get something on it. Really disappointing from Reno. Not just say any part of your body you want, just get something on it. It will go in the goal.
Just some kind of deflection, and that's in. It's a great ball from the corner.
Oh, it's an excellent ball there.
See if Reno can just stay the course. They've had plenty of chances in this match to score. They've got the weapons to do it. Morel gets it to Opano. Slips and falls, but able to keep the possession. Tripped up there. We'll get the throw in.
It was a great run from Opano. It looks like Reno's offense has had a new lease of life. It looks like they're trying to get in behind more. They're trying to make more runs. And Monarchs, I think, are starting to get a little nervous.
Well, as you mentioned before, the elevation won't be a factor in this one. Monarchs playing at the same elevation as Reno. A lot of teams, though, the elevation has played a factor in the second halves.
It's also
not as much of it as an advantage tonight, though.
It's also important to remember that Monarchs had a game 3 days ago, and Reno had a whole week of rest. And a lot of the same guys who played on Wednesday are playing right now.
Set piece for Weehan here in the 62nd minute. Came up short on that one. And that one out of bounds near the midline.
Yeah, Weehan will be disappointed with that delivery. He just doesn't get under it enough there, and easy clearance away.
You mentioned Colby and Morel now on the outside for Reno in terms of their fullbacks. Colby at the top, Morel at the bottom.
Yeah, Colby will be more on his natural right side, which I don't think affects him much, and he has a pretty good left foot. He's not uncomfortable carrying the ball forward on the left side. Now Jordan Morel will slide over the left.
Reno trying to cross the field there, but Luis Felipe's pass too far for Chris Weehan. Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Also, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Mare once again looking dangerous, running at this Reno defense. Jordan Morel will go in the book for that challenge there.
First yellow of the night for Reno 1868. We did see one go against the Monarchs earlier in this match. The only player that is in danger of a yellow card affecting them is Jimmy Ockford. He is one away from facing suspension. That is something to keep an eye on here down the stretch.
Definitely, and Jimmy Ockford's so important to this back line, and not just the back line really, but the whole team. He's the leader, the captain, and such a fantastic center back.
Griffiths trying to get that one out of harm's way, missed it. Thankfully, Bersano able to beat Mare to it. Here's Colby now, up to Felipe. Good touch there. Weehan gets it to Mafeka. Got crossed up there, thought Colby was going to take off, didn't, and just kicked it out of bounds.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication there. Colby wanted it to feet, but Mafeka tried to play him through there.
And you mentioned earlier, maybe this change would make sense for Reno, and they will bring in Junior Burgos, the El Salvadorian who has had a chance to play for their national team. He's going to take over for Luis Felipe. Another substitution presented by the Les Schwab Tire Center.
Yeah, not the best night for Luis Felipe. This game was always going to be tough with him, with really just no room in the midfield, but he's a little slow on the ball, a little slow with his decision making. Or otherwise, he's had a fantastic season.
LaGrassa can't keep it there. Ockford steps up. We'll get a whistle there.
Last call for alcohol.
Foul goes against Reno 1868 and Jimmy Ockford.
Oh, and Jimmy Ockford will be pleased that so far it looks like the ref's not reaching into his pocket for the yellow. Just give him a bit of a warning there.
Now, how does that happen in the USL when it comes to postseason? So let's say we get to the first postseason game and Jimmy is still at that 4. Would then a 5th still result in him facing a suspension, or does it reset once you get into the postseason?
I don't know the exact rule, but my assumption is that it does reset once it goes into the postseason.
That would be pretty tough.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, though. We might need to pull out a rule book. But just
something worth considering. I mean, you don't want to like purposely get a yellow card, but you certainly don't want to see your captain not be available for a playoff game because of something like that. You almost rather see him miss one of the final games of the regular season if that's the case.
Definitely, but if it is a rule that that they reset at postseason, I think Jimmy Ockford will just want to just try to be careful today not to get that yellow card, and then he knows that just in a game or two it will reset. But if he gets a yellow against Sac Republic, my assumption is that he'll have to sit out for that first playoff game.
Definitely something interesting to keep an eye on here down the final stretch of the season, as once again Charlie Adams gets the corner. Goes back post, deflected off the back of the head of Orozco, and a whistle goes against the Monarchs as Bersano tells Mare to beat it.
Yeah, a good looping ball from Charlie Adams there.
He's had a good game tonight.
He's had a great game. He's someone who likes to mix up his deliveries. You know, sometimes he'll go near, sometimes he'll go far. They have a lot of different set-piece options. They're a team that are really good in set pieces, I think. Spend a lot of time in the training ground on those corners. And Charlie Adams' delivery is so great.
Coors Light reminds you that every climb deserves a refreshing finish, and every night deserves a safe ending. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. The let play continue here. LaGrassa crossing the field for Kip Colby. Over to Junior Burgos, who just checked in. Colby racing after it. He's taken down just outside the box, and that will not get a whistle.
Yeah, that surprises me because it looks like the Monarchs player came in late to Colby.
Do have confirmation from Aldo, who is the public relations coordinator for Reno 1868. Yellow cards wiped out after the regular season, but the thought still does remain: what if he is one away in that Sacramento game, and would that force him to miss his first playoff game? In that case,
we might need another
second
confirmation from Aldo on that one. But I imagine that it's yes, that he would have to sit out for one game.
Throw in from Colby here as we move into the 69th minute. Monarchs able to score very quickly in the second half on a headed goal by Chandler Hoffman. That has been the difference maker so far tonight. Burgos pushing forward, finds Weehan, has it stolen away though. As this Monarchs defense continues to be very tough for Reno to try and get something going.
Great run from Brody to find Mare. They can then switch the field.
Bersano, a diving stop. And it'll stay 1-0.
Bersano does really well to hold on to that. Good, dangerous cross from Lakowecki. And Mare and Hoffman were both lurking, waiting for Bersano to drop it, but he holds on to it really, really well.
Richards trying to put some pressure on the back line there. Monarchs able to get it away. LaGrassa with the interception there in the midfield. Weehan gets tripped up, and that is going to draw a whistle and a yellow. And it looked like the yellow that time against Sebastian Velasquez.
Yeah, just a professional foul there from Velasquez. He knows that Chris Weehan's running through and trying to make the defense step to him, but recognizes the danger and takes one for the team with the yellow card.
Junior Burgos, who often is on set pieces and corners, will get one here. After Weehan had taken all of them up to this point. Burgos. Throw in stolen away. Velasquez. Griffiths couldn't quite get to it. Now 3 white shirts getting deep in Reno's half. Bersano comes up, makes a two-handed catch, and quickly rolls it out to Chris Wehan, trying to spark a counterattack.
Yeah, that's a poor cross from Monarchs after really having a numbers-up situation on the counter. Really just an easy catch for Bersano.
Mafeka ran into a brick wall. They won't give him a whistle. Here's Mare now. Griffiths coming up from behind him. Gets it over to Adams. Now Velasquez. Hoffman blown off sides here. And a chance for Reno to retake the possession.
Yeah, Hoffman's someone who's really tried to toe that offside line today. He's trying to time his runs just right, stay on the shoulder of the defender. He's been called offside a couple times for it.
Monarchs, such a good defensive team. They've allowed only 29 goals this year. Tied for 4th in the league, and they're sitting back here, daring Reno to try and break through them. We'll see if 1868 can do it. LaGrosse to the steal. Almost had Richards on the through ball. But again, it's Orozco there to head it back. And you talked about it earlier. He's been sensational. Dangerous play here. Saved by Bersano. Not out of trouble yet. And that one goes too high.
Oh, and that was a great ball through to Mare. Really just right into stride. And Bersano makes a fantastic save. Mare does well to find Velasquez, but Velasquez on his weaker foot just can't get over the ball at all.
Good pass there. Burgos had a shot there. Went with his left foot, but it was too much. And back into the Battleborn Brigade.
I don't think Burgos expected to have that much space in front of him. He takes that touch. He takes that touch towards goal. It's a lot more dangerous, but he looks to hold up the play and then realizes, oh, I'm in front of goal here.
That was one of the better positions Reno's had in front of goal tonight in terms of a strike and open window like that.
Yeah, and it came from Matt LaGrosse's fantastic 40-yard ball over to find Chris Wehan in some space and really offset Monarchs defense.
Monarchs will make a change. Hoffman, who had that goal in the 46th minute, will be replaced by Daniel Haber. So Haber in for Hoffman. Substitution brought to you by the Les Schwab Tire Center. The USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. Another run coming here from the Monarchs, and too high off the foot of Mare. Bersano quickly puts it back for Morel. 16 minutes left of regulation in this one. Morel trying to go over the top for Richards. Can't quite get it to him. Again, those Monarchs center backs have been a tough wall to get past.
Yeah, they've been really good defensively, preventing balls in behind, stepping to when they find the strikers at feet. Orozco in particular has been everywhere. It's really a strong defensive performance tonight for Monarchs so far. But it's important to remember, 15 minutes left.
Wehan gets into the box. Richards trying to fight for it. Cleared away temporarily. Colby finds Mafeka. Centers it. Headed high. Oh, what a chance for Reno. As Opano can't put it in the back of the net. Another close one.
Yeah, great ball there from Mafeka. And Opano struggles to get over the ball with Moberg's hands all over him. But it looks like really just want to finish from there.
I think we've said that a couple times tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've struggled being clinical in front of goal. Really unlike this Reno team.
You have to figure, though, with this many chances that one of these has to go.
Yeah, this will be a long 15 minutes for Monarchs. Reno will want to push and give everything they have these closing minutes. Try to get the equalizer.
Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Into the 76th minute here tonight. Real Monarchs SLC trying to go for a perfect 3-0 record against Reno this year. Morel volleys it in, Openo, and cannot finish.
It has not been Openo's night in front of goal. Really just another fluff chance on an open goal there. He just can't quite compose himself in front of goal. Really well done from Brent Richards to challenge the header against the goalkeeper there. Falls right into Openo's lap. It's just, he catches it all wrong.
Wow. Well, sometimes that is just the way that things go for teams. And we've seen nights where Reno just can't not miss, and we've seen them score 6 goals and 9 goals. But for whatever reason tonight, there is just a barrier on that net.
Oh, great touch there from Velasquez. Jordan Morel does really well there to win it. And Beasler has to go in the book for that. Yes, preventing the quick free kick. Referee should be pulling out a yellow. And there it is. Beasler just barrels into Lindo Mafeka there.
Darwin Espinal came in for Kip Colby. So Reno going with some more offense here for the final 15 minutes or so. Taking out one of their fullbacks and bringing in Espinal, who's more of a midfielder and I think more of a attacking leaning midfielder.
Yeah, this is an interesting substitution. Obviously they want to push forward. I'm just curious how they're going to readjust shape-wise. It looks like Chris Weehan is almost playing as a right wing back here, with Darwin Espinal on the left side.
Espinal volleys it into the box, headed and wide again. Reno, as you mentioned, they're not going to make this comfortable one bit for the Monarchs here in the final 15.
Yeah, and there's a chance for Junior Burgos, who, much like Charlie Adams, is a set-piece specialist, to put in a great ball.
Burgos has 3 assists on the year. Here it comes. Line drive and within reach of Putna.
Yeah, Putna handles it really well. Now Mare has some space to run. Well defended from Openo, tracking back.
Here's Espinal, 22-year-old, born in Honduras. Grew up in South Florida, signed mid-season from the South Florida Surf after he was the top prospect in the PDL. Seen him play in a handful of games here in downtown Reno.
He's someone who's really dangerous, cutting in from that left side. He loves to really just hit the ball with the side of his foot and get a lot of curve and power with it.
Over to Morel. Griffiths.
Roscoe once again winning the header.
And a throw-in coming for Chris Weehan. First, though, Mark Briggs calling over our head ref. Wants to have a quick talk with Boal. Final 10 minutes of regulation. Reno trailing 1-0. Trying to keep a streak alive of wins at home that has stretched since March 25th. Hoping for the equalizer here late. Espinal to LaGrassa. Into the box. And then kicked away. LaGrassa was taken down, didn't get a whistle, but a throw in now for Morel. Burgos lobbing it in there. Redirected by head from Richards and almost had it.
Yeah, and that's a few times now that Reno have looked for that direct ball down the middle, trying to drop it between the defense and goalkeeper from Brent Richards. And Brent Richards does really well to win the header and redirect it.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget the Sirius XM Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Only goal in this match came in the 47th minute, the header from Chandler Hoffman, his 16th of the year. He now trails Reno's Dane Kelly by only 2 in the race for the Golden Boot. Hoffman tied with Charlotte's Enzo Martinez. Charleston's Romario Williams in the mix as well, as Reno has to get that one out of bounds, and they'll be happy just to give the Monarchs a corner here in the 82nd minute.
And that was an important intervention from Brenton Griffiths. Haber almost finds Sebastian Velasquez in front of goal, but Brenton Griffiths reads it really well to knock it out for the corner.
Tonight in Sacramento, Phoenix and the Republic, 0-0. Headed chance goes Wilds, and another corner from the other side now.
Yeah, I think Charlie Adams will take his time going from one corner to the other, kill the clock a little bit.
Adams from the other side. Line drive and headed just wide of the net. Another great opportunity from Matt Adams. And Reno just dodged a bullet. That would have been the kill shot.
Yeah, Nick Beasler is kicking himself for not putting that away. Another great corner from Charlie Adams there. Such a fantastic delivery to find Beasler.
Dangerous spot here. Mare can't finish.
Oh, and the quick free kick there from Bersano. Oh, Monarchs are still ruining that missed chance from Mare.
Burgo's going downtown for Richards, and that'll just draw an offsides flag.
I mean, there's still 6 minutes, not including stoppage time. I don't think it's quite time to start dumping everything into the box. They can still try to work something a little more intricate than that.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Clock is running out tonight on here on Reno 1868 as they try to find that equalizing goal. Pressure from LaGrasse, able, what he thought was to take it away. Not the case, though, and a throw-in now coming from Velasquez.
Oh, and it looks like the linesman has reversed the referee's decision there and given the throw-in the other way.
Well, now they're going to talk it over. They will let Reno throw it in after it's bumped around a little bit. He'll throw it back in the defensive half for Ockford, who crosses it, trying to find Espinal. Reno, so many chances tonight. Can they finally break through here in the final minutes? Mare again on the run. Mare in front of goal, and that one is going to do it.
And that was a class finish from Mare, who really has had such a fantastic game and deserved a goal tonight. Does so well to find Haber. Haber just slips him through, and cool as ice, Mare chips it over Bersano. Well done from the Argentinian there.
Well, and you talked about it before, how Reno against this Monarchs defense was going to be frustrated, and that was going to be part of their aim in the second half, was sit back, defend, frustrate, and they certainly did it. And with Reno selling out on the offensive end, having to try and get the equalizer, they left themselves very vulnerable on the defensive end, and the Monarchs, who have had some chances here as of late, finally deliver for what should be the game winner.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think there's much of a difference between 1-0 and 2-0, so you can't blame Reno for pushing forward so much to try and grab that equalizer. But yeah, I think Monarchs, their game plan was really effective today. They really did a good job of frustrating Reno and then countering really effectively.
Real Monarchs goal scored by number 54, Juan Mare, in the 87th minute.
Two-0 Monarchs, as they are on their way to securing now 9 points this year against Reno. Into the box and just out of the reach of Richards' head, as Reno almost got one back. But really, that scene right there, just a microcosm of what this match has been, as Reno has had opportunity after opportunity. And again, some nights, this is just the way it goes. And unfortunately, for Reno 1868, it happened against a team that they have badly wanted to try and get a decision against. But for one reason or another, they just cannot break through against this Real Monarchs team.
Yeah, there's been several chances now that real clear cut where you feel like, or Reno can look back and say, we should have scored there. But, I mean, Monarchs have taken their chances really well, I thought.
About a minute left in regulation, as the air has been sucked out of Greater Nevada Fields. Mare coming on the attack again. This time sets it up for Haber, and he buries it. Daniel Haber, the 25-year-old who came on as a second-half substitution. He had the assist moments ago with Mare, and this time it's Mare who put it on a tee, and he absolutely delivers.
Yeah, Jimmy Ockford doesn't do enough to shield the ball out of play against Mare. Mare pokes it away from him and does a good job of finding Haber, who smashes it in the Reno goal.
Well, this is a Monarchs team that kind of sputtered over the last couple of weeks. They had come in Wednesday with 2 losses and 2 draws in their previous 4, but a decisive win on the road in Sacramento, and now what is going to be the most lopsided decision against Reno that I can remember.
Yeah, I think Reno are really used to things just going their way over here at Greater Nevada Field. They're used to their chances finding the back of the net. They're used to teams getting frustrated and not being able to create their own chances. They've faced a really strong Monarchs team tonight who've taken advantage of some mistakes, created some great goals of their own, and defended really resolutely.
Well, and this was a match for the Monarchs to come in here, and the talk this week is, you know, Reno rising up as the top seed in the latest power rankings, and would Reno overtake them in the Western Conference? That scenario is at play. Mafeka, and again, there it is. I mean, that is just the night for Reno. So many point-blank chances, and nobody can find the back of the net.
Yeah, Mafeka's off balance here. He has to do a whole 360 turn to try and get a shot off. But once again, right in front of goal, just wide.
But you can count 5 or 6 times that's happened tonight. And
definitely, you can look back at the penalty miss and the subsequent rebound misses. You can look back at a few different chances now. You feel like Reno should have been more clinical.
Well, and remember, I mean, for Reno, they are without the best goal scorer in the USL. And you have to think, with a healthy Dane Kelly tonight, that maybe the result would be different.
And not only Dane Kelly, but Brian Brown as well. 2 really important strikers for Reno missing. That could be something to do with it.
Weehan will send it back to Ockford. Over to Burgos now. Well, the bad news for Reno is their chances of catching the Monarchs now are very slim in terms of getting to first. The loss here tonight is going to put them into a 3-way tie for second with Swope Park and San Antonio. The good news is, in that 3-way tie, Reno is still the top team. So despite the loss, Reno is still in second place in the Western Conference, and they control their own destiny. If they can finish out and win the next 2 matches or outperform Swope Park and San Antonio, you're still talking about a Reno team that's going to finish second in the Western Conference. And if you would have asked Ian Russell at the beginning of the season if he would take that, and he would take it all day long.
Yeah, and this result takes nothing away from how fantastic Reno have been this season. Really, they've been so clinical. They've scored so many goals, and tonight just wasn't their night. But being able to finish second place, which they still have a very good chance, they're in the driver's seat to finish second, and that would be huge for them.
Late substitution here for the Monarchs, as they'll send Mari off, who, I tell you what, an impressive night for Juan Mari. He scored his first goal in the USL. They signed him in August after he was playing second division in Mexico. And he was a force. He was able to really penetrate regularly throughout the night, and he was disruptive.
Man of the match for me. Not only did he get a goal and assist, but he was so dangerous, just running with the ball, harassing the Reno defenders, just making things happen overall. Great performance from Mari.
Final seconds here of this one. 3 minutes of stoppage added as we tick down to the final of this one. The Monarchs will pick up their 19th win of the season, which is the most in the USL. That is better than Reno and Swope Park. They've got 16. Louisville on the top of the Eastern Conference with 16 wins. Monarchs at 63 points. I believe after tonight will be guaranteed that top spot in the Western Conference.
And to finish top of the West with 2 games remaining just shows how good Monarchs have been throughout the season, even with the small blip in form that they had the last few weeks before the Sacramento game. They have been the best team in the West. There's no doubt about that.
Well, they've been in control all year long. And what a turnaround for this team. And this was a club that did not have a good showing last year, but they have turned it around, and a lot of arms in the air as they will get a decisive road win here at Greater Nevada Field and do something only one other team has done all season long. Reno 1868, their 5-game winning streak at home comes to an end. Their streak going all the way back to March 25th of coming away with at least a win or a draw also comes to an end here tonight to the top-seeded Real Monarchs. Our final score, 3-0. We'll come back with post-game highlights and reaction right after this. You're watching United Soccer League action on My21 TV. This is our first year doing soccer. Yeah, but I do a couple of weeks. He does only soccer. awesome.
Head upstairs right now to the Tito's Handmade Vodka stage to see Steel Breeze perform live. Great drink specials and no cover.
So he communicates with our station, and so they'll tell him, like, what, 30 seconds left.
Line up at section 18 to go down to the field. It's your chance to make a goal.
You have a freaking amazing voice.
Thank you, thank you.
You just know how to do it.
I appreciate it.
Join us for the final regular season home. This Man Appreciation Day presented by Melrose Quintado and the Reno News and Review.
So it'll be a disappointing finish tonight for Reno as they will drop their third match of the year to the Real Monarchs, as they have reasserted themselves as the top team not only in the Western Conference but likely in the United Soccer League, as they have clinched the top seed in the West and now at 63 points on the year, 19 wins, 5 losses, and 6 draws for Reno. They fall to 16 wins, 7 losses, and 7 draws. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in this match, Colin. Obviously, you don't have Dane Kelly, and that hurts for Reno. But even despite that, I'm not sure this team would want to make an excuse that they couldn't win because they didn't have their best striker, because all night long, this team had chances, and for one reason or another, whether it be on a penalty kick, whether it be the crossbar, the sidebar, it just wasn't their night in terms of finding the back of the net.
Yeah, they really struggled in front of goal. There were a few real clear-cut chances, especially from Antoine Opino, that they just couldn't put into the back of the net. But I think give real credit to Real Monarchs. They came with the game plan. They tried to restrict the midfield. They tried to keep their lines tight, and they did a really good job, I thought.
You look at the final score and think that this was a blowout, and it was anything but that. The Monarchs would score early in the second half. They would add 2 goals in the final minutes as Reno went all in on the offensive end, and it would come up empty. Some fireworks going off in the distance. It is also a big festival here this weekend, a big motorcycle festival in downtown Reno. So a lot going on here this evening, as here inside Greater Nevada Field, it's the Real Monarchs who stole the show. All right, let's take a look back at the highlights from this one. Again, the 3-0 finish as we take a look at those. And here are the Monarchs offensively. And right away to start the second half, it was a beautiful ball in from Charlie Adams, and Chandler Hoffman, who has been one of the best goal scorers this year, he would deliver to provide the first goal of the night.
Yeah, really dangerous ball from Charlie Adams. And Chandler Hoffman's movement was great there to get on the wrong side of Kip Colby.
Then late in the half, Mare, who had missed a couple opportunities in front of goal, he would combine with Daniel Hadler and a perfect little chip over the head of Matt Bersano, and that would be the dagger. Then the final straw, Daniel Haber, after getting the assist, he would find the net for his 7th goal of the year, as the Monarchs would cap off their 19th win of the year. Another road win for this team. I mentioned they had struggled for a bit there. 2 losses and 2 draws. That all came at home. But the road has turned into a good situation for them, getting a 2-0 win in Sacramento Wednesday. And again, this 3-0 win here tonight in downtown Reno. Colin, for this Reno team, obviously you don't want to lose points at home, and this is not going to be an easy one to swallow, but how do they kind of move forward from this match here tonight, knowing that 2 matches away right now, they're still in second place?
Yeah, I think they just have to put this game behind them, focus on the next 2 games, securing that second spot, and who knows, they're going to want to meet this Real Monarchs team in the Western Conference Final. And after 3 losses against them, they'll be itching for revenge more than ever before.
Well, and certainly Reno, I think, is capable of beating this Real Monarchs team, but tonight, not the night for it to happen. Up next, Reno, a week from tonight, they'll be on the road in Orange County. 3rd match between those 2 clubs. Reno has split, losing once here and winning on the road a few weeks ago. And then our final regular season broadcast as the Sacramento Republic come to town. The final regular season game on October the 14th. First round of the postseason, October 21st. Reno not yet guaranteed a home playoff game, but things are certainly pointing in that direction. So that would be obviously something they are going to be fighting very hard for to continue playing here at Greater Nevada Fields. Want to thank our entire production crew for all of their hard work here tonight, both on the pitch around it and in the production studio, and also at our studios here in Reno. For Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies saying so long tonight from Greater Nevada Field. The Real Monarchs get a big road win on top of Reno, a 3-0 final score. Have a good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.